At the University of Dayton in Ohio, the Marianist brothers of the Stonemill-Kiefaber community live, work, and pray in the heart of the University of Dayton student neighborhood. Through their stories and insight, you will learn about the deep connection these brothers of the Society of Mary have to their mission as life-giving community builders. Through hospitality, prayer, reflection, sharing meals, and ministry, these Marianists take part in continuing a legendary tradition of devotion to Mary, the Mother of God.
Well, one of the things that when we look at Marianist community, it's really the center of what we do. It's a center of our prayer life together. It's the center of supporting and challenging each other in the life that we have as Marianists. It's also the basis by which we go out and really take on our mission as Marianists. And our mission is to really be able to form people in faith. And so it's really important that we do that as a community and really have a sense of how important that is for us to work together and for people to see us working together.
First of all, we come together to pray as a group because we feel that in community, that's where we can best pray well, and that we can really come together and know the men that I'm living with through our prayer. And part of that prayer too is that we usually have space for some faith sharing on the readings. So if we take a reading, if we do our prayer in the morning, and then part of that reading is a gospel story, or at Mass there's the gospel story. So we'll read it and then usually have a few minutes of quiet and then some time to reflect on that and how it touches our own lives, or how it touched our ministry during the day, or just how it's touching our world situation too. I want to bring people to a sense of life and to a sense of care and support, rather than to turn somebody away. And there still can be challenges, and sometimes that's what the power of prayer does in the morning too, is say, I've got a difficult situation to face, and it's not going to be an easy one, but in the end, can we respect each individual person in that discussion? And we might walk away still knowing that we have differences, but that we both have been listened to and respected.
Well, I believe that our mission is really exemplified by hospitality, because we invite people to come over to share our prayer time together, to share our meals together. And whenever we're sharing with people, we're constantly trying to raise the question of how are you living out your faith? How are you exploring your faith? How is your UD education helping you to develop and deepen your faith?
But we come together to do that, and we set aside a space and a place in our homes, in our communities here, just for prayer.
The meal is an important time because it normally follows prayer time together. But it's a time that we have to come together, interact, exchange, things that happen during the day, things going on in people's lives, tell stories, and that it's more than just getting something into your stomach that this meal is about, but it's that human interaction, it's the communication, it's the opportunity to, as I say, tell stories of joy, tell stories of sorrow, tell stories of struggle, tell stories about people that delight you, tell stories about people that challenge you, those kinds of things. You have that opportunity to communicate, and therefore, once you get to know people, once you know each other, you can be supportive of them.
I think for us who call ourselves Marianists have come to understand that hospitality is more than just being nice. I think it's that generous offering, that generous lending, that generosity that we show to guests, to visitors, to students, and even to those who would call themselves strangers. But I think more so that the generosity is lended so that they no longer become stranger, but a fellow brother, a fellow sister, a fellow neighbor. And so for us at the Stonemill-Kiefaber Marianist community, that hospitality makes manifest itself in many ways. When I was a student at Chaminade University, what jumped out at me was the sense of hospitality and how that blended in with the sense of community, that they all came together.
It's part of the Marianist thing is, in our real life it talks about the fact that community is one of our best ways to do ministry. And I think that's probably what makes Marianist different than other orders, because each order is a little bit different. They have a little different, they're doing basically the same type of thing, but they all do it a little differently. And one of our things is this whole idea, this emphasis on community. That, the way we live our community and the way we keep building community among the people we work with. And I mean, that's one thing I like about the Marianists, that we do a corporate ministry. And we do it as a group, because you can have more power as a group than you can as an individual. So, but the fact that most of us we're all working somewhere or another at the University of Dayton. And that's just, there's a power to that we're all doing it together. And we have an influence on the university and the people here. And people get to know us, but they get to know a whole bunch of different Marianists. And so they'll see some of the common threads in the Marianists, but also the differences in the Marianists, which is cool. We say we teach to educate, which is more than just to impart knowledge, but we teach by how we do things, how we treat our students, how we interact in the classroom.
I'm speaking with some of the students who always say, what happens behind those doors there? What's going on in those buildings there? And it's like, well, basically what's going on in our communities is that we do take time in the morning and the afternoon to pray together. We have a sense of community.
It's great being in the center of the student neighborhood, because again, with the interaction with students, we're always, our minds kept fresh. We're always thinking of new ideas, new ways. We get to understand what the students are going through in their own experience at UD, and so I think it keeps our message fresh for the students. It helps us really understand how we can bring the message of Christ to this neighborhood. That when people work side by side with us in our projects, so I do a lot of work in the city, and I always try to take students out to work with the neighborhoods or work on some regional issues, and trying to help them connect their faith with these issues of social justice. I think when people see that, they begin to see what the Marianists are about in terms of that mission of transforming the world, being persons of faith that can transform the world.
My name is Brother Sean Downing, Regional Vocation Director for the Society of Mary. Thank you for viewing our video highlighting the lives of the Marianist brothers of the Stonemill-Kiefaber community at the University of Dayton. Our founders believe that we find God through building communities that are centered in Christ and strong in gospel values. As Marianists, we find inspiration in Mary's example of faith, simplicity, and hospitality. If you are interested and would like more information about joining the Marianist, please go to our website at www.marianist.com or call us at 937-229-2741.